Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Annalisa and this is going to be a video about my zine making and also about zines in general. But first of all, these earrings are created by Shadowcraft Crow, who I will link the Etsy shop of below. They mostly have a lot of goth style things, but they also have a lot of beaded things. I really like them. They are a bit heavy as expected, but they're quite a statement piece. So a zine, short for magazine or fanzine, is a magazine that is a non-commercial, often homemade or online publication, usually devoted to specialized and often unconventional subject matter. Zines are popularly defined within a circulation of 1,000 copies, so most zines don't get more than 1,000 copies, which I would agree with. In practice, however, many are produced editions of fewer than 100. Later on Wikipedia, it says, zines present groups that have been dismissed with an opportunity to voice their opinion, both with other members of their own communities or with a larger audience. Zines are pretty popular in leftist spaces. There's a lot of zines about Palestine. There's a lot of zines about various skills and teaching people how to do things themselves. I will link below several of my favorite zines that I've recently found. One is about masking. One is a really simple mini zine about Palestine. And advocating for Palestine specifically. And now I'm going to show you one that my group has made. They come in several different sizes. The biggest size is a half of 8x11 page. So this is How Palestine and ICE Are Connected, Tri-Cities for Palestine zine number 1. And then it has all sorts of photos that are social justice-y in it and talks about how there are lots of connections between the oppression that is faced under the police here in the U.S. and the oppression that Palestinians face. And even though they're not the same or like directly cause and effect linked to each other, they are more like caused by the same thing, linked to each other, caused by imperialism and authoritarianism and racism, that kind of thing. And there's lots of different sized fonts and highlights and little sections to make it interesting to read. And so that's the kind of thing you can do with a larger zine. This zine, which is a size down, is half a page, and it does have illustrations and text boxes to make things more interesting. I like this one with the ropes that go from page to page. That's very cool. This one's about solidarity and it's very long. Most zines are shorter than this. How many pages is this? It's almost 40 pages and it's by James Kilgore. Then you have mini zines, of which this is one that I made. Very small. You can't fit much text, depending on how small you make the text. But you can still do little bitty illustrations like these silhouettes of heads. You can still do different sizes of text to emphasize things. And on the back we have a watermelon illustration, and this one I showed to my group, and we made into Tri-Cities for Palestine zine number 2. Another mid-size zine is this one that I just made, Keeping Hope Despite the Horrors, and I'll show you the content of this one as well. But this one has a lot more pictures, one on each page, and I haven't stapled this one together yet because I folded it. As you'll see on the screen, I'm folding zines. I folded it before I went to the store today and got a new stapler that is much bigger. I was inspired to make these zines because of a few things. One was a video that I'll also link below, created by Safana, who is a copywriter. She specializes in marketing and she specializes in verbal ad copy type stuff. And so she is also Muslim, and she has been doing a lot of series lately on, I think, TikTok and Instagram about how propaganda works, and specifically how Israel, the US, the UK use the way they write their headlines and the way they say things to normalize the genocide of the Palestinians and to make other things seem much worse than the killing of Palestinians. Very informative, and she recently made a video about how to convince the chunk of people who are silent on the genocide to speak on it, and that's what inspired that mini zine I just showed you about. So this is the unfolded version, and the title page is Your Voice is Worth $150 billion, specifically referencing the fact that I think during 2024, the Israeli government increased its budget for propaganda, I think tenfold, which ended up being by $150 million. And so now I'm going to read out my zine to you, and I'll do that with the other one too. And I'll also link below where you can get a printable version and also a readable version, so you can look at or print them if you would like to. So, Your Voice is worth $150 million. Since 2023, Israel has increased its propaganda budget by $150 million. It is, quote, used to influence sentiment in the foreign press and on social media, end quote. From jweekly.com, December 30th, 2024. Not to spread information or educate, but to convince you to stay silent. And then there's the picture of two silhouettes. One's labeled propaganda and has a finger in front of its mouth and a shushing motion, and one is labeled you. They say it's complicated, it's controversial, it's anti-Semitic, it's awkward. And there's a little note to the side that says, read Genocide Bad by Sim Kern to learn more, with I'm not sure what it's called, but little brackets pointing to the first three: complicated, controversial, anti-Semitic. So if people actually believe that it is any of those things, I have a book recommendation there for them to learn. You'll lose friends, lose your job, lose family, but you can beat that $150 million by sticking to your values. Do you believe starving 2 million children is wrong? Bombing babies is wrong? Racism and apartheid are wrong? Then say so. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers, tell your representatives. It's scary, but it's worth it. Your voice is worth more than their money. And my other one, that is double-sided when unfolded, says, keeping hope despite the horrors. Hope is not the absence of fear or of any other negative feeling. It is the choice of how to think and move forward despite those feelings. Quote, let this radicalize you rather than lead you to despair, end quote. From Mariam Kaba. Much of the book Let This Radicalize You by Kelly Hayes and Mariam Kaba is about this mandate and how to accomplish it. From that book and other sources, we bring you 4 necessary aspects of maintaining hope through dark times. Act. And then there's a picture of people holding protest signs under a banner that says Palestinian Youth Movement, and down below a picture of someone, an illustration of someone painting some hearts on a page. Quote, when we look squarely at injustice and get involved, we actually feel less pain, not more, because we overcome the gnawing guilt and despair that festers under our numbness. We clean the wound, our own and others, and it can finally heal, end quote. From Desmond Tutu. Quote, an antidote to the relentless drumbeat of doom is strategic and persistent collective action, end quote. Mariam Kaba. Find the issue that you feel most strongly about. Find other people who feel the same way. Work with them to find out what you can do with whatever resources and influence you have. This one has an illustration of a sort of scroll being unrolled, and on it are the names of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, and then several other people, black people who were killed by police, and then a list of disabled Palestinians killed in Gaza in the last 2 years. Wholly confronting our grief in connection with each other can be a rebellious political act in the face of top-down attempts at normalization. End quote. Mariam Kaba and Kelly Hayes, Let This Radicalize You. Let your body feel the emotions prompted by what has happened. Rest. Sometimes we need to step back from both the work of organizing or activism and the constant influx of bad news. Listen to your body-mind and take breaks before tuning back in. Learn. Find the reasons for hope in the present and the past. To be hopeful in bad times is not just foolishly romantic. It is based on the fact that human history is a history not only of cruelty, but also of compassion, sacrifice, courage, kindness, end quote. Howard Zinn. Recommended reads, The Serviceberry by Robin Wall Kimmerer and In Defense of Looting by Vicky Osterweil. Repeat. You just need to be a flea against injustice. Enough committed fleas biting strategically can make even the biggest dog uncomfortable and transform even the biggest nation. End quote. Marian Wright Edelman. And the back cover says, quote, "The horrors persist, but so do I," end quote, from Majora's Mouse, a zine by Annalisa's Library. So those are my zines. I'm excited to make more, and I'm not inspired by anything right now to make more about, but I think I will be at various times, probably especially by new nonfiction books that I read. As that Keeping Hope one was almost entirely inspired by Let This Radicalize You, and the other was almost entirely inspired by that video by Savannah. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to leave an emoji, how about something purple? And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!